Hello there and welcome to Preparing for Legion. In this series of 10 videos we're going to discuss how you can prepare for the launch of Legion, be it things you can do right now, or information about the various systems that you'll be interacting with upon launch. Hopefully, these will help you prepare yourself for the next expansion. In this video we're going to discuss preparing for your artifact weapon. One of the biggest features of Legion is the new artifact weapon system, and it has a few quirks that hopefully learning about will prove helpful to you. So let's discuss how these artifacts work. Every specialization will get an artifact weapon, unique to their class fantasy. Each artifact weapon has a variety of different skins so that you can customize it, unlocked through various achievements. Some of them are even hidden, and you can change the type of a weapon, for instance turning a hunter's artifact weapon gun into a bow using these kind of hidden skins. You can also tint your artifact weapon, but to do this you must first unlock a base appearance. You can transmogrify your artifact weapon as well. You'll be doing a small quest chain to obtain your artifact, and you have to do it before you can start questing in the Broken Isles. It's practically impossible to miss. It will start in Dalaran once you arrive. It'll pretty much be the first thing you do once you get there.
Your presence is requested in the Hall of Shadows at once.
Each quest is designed for your specialization, so if you're a healer or a tank you'll be healing and tanking, so stay in the specialization whose weapon you're after. Once you reach level 102, you'll be able to obtain artifacts for every specialization that your class has. Just return to your class order hall and find the quest to select a second artifact. Once you complete that quest, you'll be offered a quest for the third. Then, if you're a druid, your fourth artifact after that. When you obtain your artifact, you will gain a new ability for your specialization, be it injecting poison, dealing holy damage in a cone, reaping souls for damage increases, or any other variety of abilities. Every specialization will get something when they pick up their artifact.
I will destroy you!
There will be absolutely zero weapon drops in Legion. You will be using your artifact for the entire expansion, upgrading and empowering it as you progress. You will increase your artifact weapon's power by unlocking traits and implanting relics within it. To unlock traits, you must gather artifact power. Artifact power is essentially an experience bar for your artifact. As you gain power, your artifact's power bar goes up. Once it fills up, the bar will reset and you gain a trait point. You can then spend this point on unlocking a trait. To gain artifact power, you'll be using items. These items are rewards from just about every activity: questing, arenas, battlegrounds, raid bosses, dungeons, exploration. Just play the game and you'll find artifact power items. Artifact traits are separated into common traits and golden traits. Common traits offer small bonuses, and golden traits offer some huge power spikes. No trait is exclusive. You can unlock absolutely everything, and that is essentially your end goal. To unlock a trait, you must have unlocked every rank in a trait that is connected to it. However, each time you unlock a trait point, you will need more power to unlock the next, and this will exponentially increase until you'll be after literally millions of points of power to reach your next trait point. However, it's important to note that this exponential increase of cost only applies to weapons, not your character specifically. Even once you've unlocked every trait, you'll still be putting power into your weapon. Once you've unlocked every single trait, a new one is going to appear that you can pour loads of points into that will offer you small bonuses to your overall damage, healing, or survivability. For these reasons, choosing your path of traits is important. Instead of talking about every single artifact weapon, which would be insane, I'm instead going to link a bunch of images in the description which will take you over the various lines you can go down in order to optimize your artifact trait points. I did not make these, everything will be credited in the description. Just remember that these are only examples, but that this is a long process that is going to take you months, so you don't want to make a mistake and accidentally pick up something that isn't very helpful to you. You want to save those kind of traits for last. Alright, so those are traits. Now, relics work a bit differently. These are in fact items that you can receive much like artifact power. Relics can be uncommon, rare, epic, and maybe even legendary, and will grant you an increase to the artifact weapon's item level and statistics, and grant free points in various artifact traits. These bonus points can cause a trait to go beyond its original limit, and even allow for a trait that only has one rank to increase in strength, for instance going 2 out of 1. Relics, however, do have limitations. Each relic has a type, such as Fel, Fire, Shadow, Arcane, Frost, Nature, etc., and artifact weapons have a limited amount of slots for each type of relic. You cannot implant relics into your weapon that do not correspond to its slots, and replacing a relic with another will destroy the relic originally placed in a weapon. Your weapon is going to have 2 slots at the beginning, and by doing your class Order Hall campaign, which is just a series of quests that you unlock as you level up, you will unlock your 3rd relic slot. It's somewhat difficult for me to tell you what relics to aim for, but just remember that a higher item level for your weapon is always a good thing, and is going to pretty much always be better than increasing one of your minor perks. Now let's discuss Artifact Knowledge. Artifact Knowledge is a means with which to obtain more artifact power by permanently increasing the amount of power that items grant you. You can only start unlocking Artifact Knowledge once you reach level 110. At this point, you'll be offered a quest in your class Order Hall to start doing work orders for Artifact Knowledge. You're going to want to do as many of these work orders as possible, as they will reward items that will grant you a permanent bonus to artifact power on that character for every specialization. These work orders will take up to days to complete, so you're going to want to keep them rolling as much as you can. However, there's also a catch-up mechanic in place that will help you keep Artifact Knowledge rolling if you can't log on very often, so don't worry about that if you're a player that can't log on too much. So, this knowledge will increase the artifact power you gain from almost every source, but it will not increase the power that you gain from items that you already had in your inventory when you increased your knowledge. It also won't offer upgrades to one-time leveling quest rewards that increase your artifact power, or treasures out in the world. For these reasons, you don't need to stockpile artifact power items. They won't increase the power they gain once you increase your knowledge. Just use them basically as soon as you get them. Unless you aren't sure what weapon to focus on, in which case you can happily save them and make a decision later. So how does this apply to off-specs? Well, it's important to note that the costs of early traits are very, very low compared to later ones, so it's not going to be that difficult to get an off-spec artifact weapon up to about 80 or 90% of the power of your main specialization, and you're going to have to make a decision on a case-by-case basis as to whether you want to save up power for your main spec's trait, or give your off-spec potentially several traits. I can't make this decision for you, just consider how valuable the traits you're unlocking are, and how much you're actually going to use your off-spec weapon compared to your main spec. Finally, alts. It's important to note that nothing about the artifact weapon system is account-wide. It's all character-specific, so you'll need to do everything individually for each of your characters. The goal here is to be the hero of Azeroth, picking out an artifact weapon and using it to fight against the Legion. So there'll be no means of boosting or upgrading your artifact weapons through account-wide systems, at least at launch. This may change in the future, but as of this video, that's not the case. That will conclude this guide. Next time, we'll discuss professions. They're receiving a big overhaul in Legion, so we'll go over how they've changed and what to expect as you venture into the Broken Isles and craft your first pieces of gear or random toys, whatever works for you. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful. If you have any questions, thoughts, comments, or suggestions, you can contact me using the links in the description, or you can just leave a comment. If you want to help support the channel, there is a link to my Patreon page in the description as well. Thank you very much for watching, and I wish you the best of luck in the world of Warcraft.